This episode of the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast is brought to you by the Podcast Reach System. Are you ready to exponentially reach more profitable customers? Launching and hosting your own show is your proven best solution for networking, client attraction, and establishing your celebrity expert brand. Visit www.podcastreachsystem.com and claim your rightful place as the leading star of your industry so you make a difference for your community, market, and audience. Welcome to the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast. Join us as we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who reveal what they are doing to make the world a better place by being part of it. Be sure to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, lean in, tune in, get your notepad and 2 pens ready, and let's get started.
My name is Adam Homey, and I am once again honored by your wise decision to tune in and invest in yourself today. At the Brilliance Plus Passion Project, our goal is to highlight those who make the world better by being part of it and by their contributions to it. Today, I'm very excited to speak with somebody who I've recently gotten to know through an association and a networking group, well, actually a mastermind that she and I both belong to, and her name is Tracy Beavers. She's a business and sales coach who teaches entrepreneurs how to have consistent monthly income and consistent new clients without paid ads. Well, you kind of had me at without paid ads. On a personal note, she's a wife, mom of 2 young adults, and a dog mom. I'm a cat daddy. She's a public speaker and a published author. She's been featured on top business podcasts and been a regular contributor on one of her hometown's premier TV shows. She's a creator of 2 online courses, Business Visibility Made Easy and Be a Confident Entrepreneur. She has a group coaching program and offers private one-on-one coaching for clients wanting a VIP custom experience. And she's going to tell you even more in just a moment. But right now, Tracy Beavers, welcome aboard. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you with us here today.
Thank you so much, Adam. I'm really excited to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. So first question is, in your own words, how does the work you do make the world a better place for your clients, customers, and the world at large?
So as a business and sales coach, I have helped hundreds of business owners and entrepreneurs build the businesses of their dreams, making the income that they want. And on the face of it, that doesn't sound like much. But when I think about the ripple effect of my work, this directly affects the quality and happiness of their lives. And that ripples down through their families, out into the community where they live. You know, everything that they touch and are part of and participate in, because they feel confident and successful and they're making the income they need, they are able then to give back to the world at large and bless other people in return.
All right. So I previewed it in me introducing you, but tell me in your own words what it is you actually do.
Yeah. So as a business and sales coach, I teach entrepreneurs, just like you said, how to have consistent monthly income and those consistent new clients, those ideal clients. And you know, the ones that we want to work with, all without paid advertising. My strategies were born out of literally my frustration with trying paid advertising on 2 separate occasions and having it be just a massive waste of money. And I've built 3 businesses over the last 7 years without paid ads. And I thought, okay, Tracy, go back to all the strategies you employed before, and that is your program that you need to create.
I've told in other episodes, other platforms, my story of trying to use paid ad networks. And I think the absolute nadir of it is when I was purchasing advertising to promote a teleseminar on how to get sponsored to attend conferences. And Facebook first falsely labeled it a multi-level marketing scheme.
Oh no.
And then I gave them examples of ads for MLMs that they themselves had approved, and they got really angry. I mean, like pissed. And then they decided to pile on and say, that ad was no longer allowed to run because it violated their policy against selling tobacco products.
Oh boy.
And you should have seen this ding dong of a team manager I had to deal with who decided to label my entire business an affiliate marketing scam.
Oh boy.
And among his evidences, he said, it's like, huh, look at this. You have testimonials from customers. That's what affiliate marketers do.
That's what everybody does.
I've been tracking his career. Facebook fired his ass.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like I've wanted to contact him and say, hey, so I heard Facebook fired you. And then just see if he writes back and then just argues. There's a 6-month gap in your resume. You may claim you're taking care of your sick mom, but that's what people who get fired claim. We have to laugh about this because it's not worth it to do this stuff actually, because all it does is take away from our brilliance, our passion, and what we do to make the world a better place. But sometimes just thinking about the Empire striking back makes the world feel better. And I wanted to tell that story because I wanted to surface for our listeners the importance of what you do, because paid advertising can be so damn frustrating.
It can be very frustrating and confusing. And then, the 2 times I tried to run paid ads, I actually hired somebody that came highly recommended who runs paid ads for a multi-million-dollar coach. Yeah. And it was still a waste of thousands of dollars. And I was like, okay, I'm done.
I'd rather pay an affiliate, candidly. If you're going to pay somebody, pay a worker.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Take that money and invest it. Yep.
Yeah. So what are some of the top questions that people have, like the FAQs, when they're checking out what you do and making their decision to invest?
One of the questions I hear a lot is, how are you going to help me grow my business online? How does that work? Another question I hear a lot is, how can having a coach even help me? I don't understand what coaching, some people have never hired a coach. They've never looked into it. And they're like, I don't understand what you do. How are you going to help me? And then a lot of people want to know if they're at the right point in their business for a coach. That's another really good question that I hear a lot.
Yeah. What are a few questions you wish people would ask?
I would love it if they asked, what can I do as the client to make sure I get the maximum out of our coaching together? And I would love it if they would ask, what can I do as a client to make sure I don't let myself get overwhelmed? Because those are 2 things that we tend to feel when we start a new program, we buy an online course, or we go into a group coaching program or a mastermind, or we're working with a coach. Anything new in your business is going to feel overwhelming, but we can't let that get in front of us. We've got to recognize it. It's going to happen. It's kind of like imposter syndrome. That's going to happen, but we have to recognize it and then know how to deal with it. And then I want my clients to get the maximum out of our time together, which means I want them to be prepared and to ask questions and to let me know if something's confusing or they're not quite understanding the strategy. So those are the questions I wish they would ask.
Yeah. So let's shift gears. And this is where we get to have some fun with this. We're going to discover more about Tracy and how we can help our listeners get to know Tracy better. So we have a few little inquiries on this one. And the first one is this is where you get to say, hi, Mom. What would people who know you be surprised to learn about you?
Well, there was 2 things that came to mind. One is that a lot of people don't know that I have built my 3 businesses in the past 7 years alongside a full-time career until the end of last year. Also alongside 2 kids who played every sport imaginable, and my husband and our dog and all of that. And then a fun fact about me was, when I was in college, I went to Tulsa University for college, and one of the sorority alums called the sorority house looking for a babysitter. Well, I went to babysit for the family. Turns out this was former President Gerald Ford's grandchildren that I was babysitting. And I had no idea until I got there. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Do I get Secret Service? What, how does this work exactly?
Just based on timelines, I'm guessing these were Susan's kids.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at the reality of of our respective approximate ages, and she's the only one who would be likely to have kids
Yep.
where you would be in the area of your life you'd be babysitting.
Yeah, her 2 girls, and they were just brilliant, lovely,
Mhm.
loved them, and enjoyed it so much. But nobody told me who they were.
Yeah.
And halfway through the evening, I'm looking around and I'm like, there's a gift from the ambassador of, such and such, or a photo with
Mhm.
Lady Bird Johnson. And I looked at the girls and I went, who the heck are you? And they were like, well, President Ford's our grandpa. And I'm like, somebody could have told me that.
Yeah. I also, the other thing is if it would have been one of President Ford's sons, they all kind of look and sound like him to varying degrees. It would have been pretty obvious.
That's really funny. I hadn't
Yeah.
thought about that.
Yeah. So, what would you like people to say about you when you're not around to hear it?
I hope that this is kind of like, what do you want people to say at your funeral? I hope they say that I made their lives better. I hope that
Yeah.
they say that when they were with me, they left feeling lighter, inspired, capable, just empowered and happy. When people spend time with me, when they gift me their time, I want it to be really, I want them to be really happy about it.
Yeah. That's great. If you could go back in time and change one thing you've done, one thing you've experienced, one thing that's happened, what would it be and why?
I would have started the entrepreneurial journey earlier. I would have made my exit strategy from corporate America earlier. I would have listened to my innate intuition that kept nudging me, and I believe God throwing little pebbles at me and trying to get my attention for all these years. I would have done it earlier.
Yeah, I once I made the decision I was going entrepreneurial, I did that old ox and horse cart thing for 2 years, following the side hustle while still sitting at the job and what have you. And if I knew then what I know now, or even knew what to ask back then,
Yeah.
or understood that there's a reason why somebody might just give you $3,000 without asking for it to be paid back.
Right.
If I understood all of those things, then that stay probably would have been more like 2 months.
Yeah, same. And if I'd understood that it was still going to be scary, but that it would be fun, more fun than what I was doing, I would have started earlier.
Oh yeah. I've been online trying so hard to get into a debate over something. I couldn't catch a debate over the election midterms. I couldn't catch a debate over COVID. I couldn't catch a debate over anything. But you want to know what really got fired up is when I made a sub comment on a thread about Elon Musk ending the free lunches at Twitter.
That's hilarious.
I had people come after me on that one. Want to debate with me whether or not I had any morality.
That's really funny.
I'm thinking,
here's another post that'll get a lot of engagement, and it sounds so silly, but it is. A friend of mine did this. He's a food blogger, and he ended up on the Today Show. His post went viral. It was basically chili beans or no beans, and people went nuts. Beans in your chili or no beans? Completely. People just lost their minds.
Isn't that funny?
It's really
isn't that funny how that is? I mean, I got accused of being a psychopath, and because I simply pointed out that I worked for companies before I became an entrepreneur. Nobody ever gave me a free lunch.
Right.
And I had a few people in particular that kept trying to argue this point with me and say that I was asserting privilege and self-importance. And I kept saying, and I just kept repeating, I got you in the feels, not vice versa. You're the one who keeps going with us. Right. I was just pointing out I never got a free lunch.
Right.
Because I never got a free lunch.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes these base level of the Maslow's pyramid that really gets people fired up, like chili, whether or not you have the beans in it. How about pizza and whether or not it has pineapple on it?
Right. Oh, that's another one. Yeah. For sure.
I once had somebody question whether or not I was even a human being because I'm yes in that camp. Weird what people just go nuts over. But it also tells you something about the old maxim of sales and marketing, which is it matters not as much what they say they want or what they think they want, is what it is that they respond to that gets them to take the action you want them to take.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. So I'll say cats or weenie heads if that gets me more sales. Although Alessandra here knows where I live, so I better be
Right.
careful.
I think you should keep your head
Yeah,
on a swivel if you make that
that's
statement.
oh yeah. So what famous person, alive or dead, would you like to meet, and what question would you have for them if you had the opportunity?
Gosh, that's a great question. And there's so many people that are coming to mind for me right now. I don't think I can decide on just one, but I would say it's likely someone that's an entrepreneur that I can ask about their business,
Okay.
or someone that has gone down a similar journey that I feel like would have some wisdom for me.
Okay.
What about
So
you?
it's well, let's see. Yeah, I've given a lot of thought to that, but for now, what I have for you is a suggestion. How about an entrepreneur?
Send her over. We'll have
All
dinner.
right,
Yep, I'll bring
Alessandra,
the
you have a
liver.
job. Alessandra, you finally have a job to do. Get paid and bring it home. You owe me rent.
Exactly. Right, right.
All right. So, what motivates and inspires you to keep going when you're having a tough time or facing a challenge?
Yeah. And this is something I help my clients remember as well. It's my it sounds cliche, but it's my why.
Uh huh.
For why am I on this freaking entrepreneurial roller coaster? Because it is a roller coaster. Some days everybody wants to buy what you're selling, and other days nobody can remember my name. And on those days where the phone's not ringing and nobody's, I'm like, what is happening? And I feel like the business is drying up. I have to ask myself, why am I doing this? And it's because I truly don't want to work for anyone else ever again.
Yeah.
And I really want to show my kids that they can they can choose a profession or a livelihood that is outside the box, because I was raised in the generation where you go to high school, you go to college, you get the W-2 job, and you stay there and you suck it up, buttercup, even if you hate it, and you spend 40 years, and then you get the gold watch and the pension and the retirement party and the cake. But I want to show our kids that, and I think a lot of people can see this now in our environment, that they can chase their dreams, that they can think through their gifts and talents, and they can do it. Yep.
They don't give you a watch anymore. You're lucky. You're lucky if they even notify you that they fired you.
Remember the word pension? I mean, I'm aging myself here. I'm 52, and I promise you, when I went to college, my parents said, "You get graduate college, you get that job." And back then, the career development center at the university said, "You don't change jobs. You don't job hop. You stay. You stick it out. You don't want big gaps in your employment." Oh
Oh,
my
here.
God!
Oh, well. And let me tell you how fast that changed. I'm 45.
Yeah.
I went for my MBA because I wanted my MBA. I got it when I was 26 years old, which
Hmm.
put me in an MBA level job hunt.
Hmm.
And as I was networking, looking for opportunities, a couple separate people told me substantially the same thing. They said it's like, well, yeah, and I know they say, yeah, I know you held down that full time job with that company that whole time you're in MBA school. So you've been there what for about 2 years now? Well, MBA or not, you were leaving there. It's like, I was. Yeah, if you stay in one place too long, people are going to look at that resume and say, "What? You only work for no company? What? One company? You're not
Right.
motivated? You just sit
Right.
on your ass? What?
Right.
Nobody wants to hire you?"
Right. You don't have any
So it just
imagination?
so in less than 10 years, that whole paradigm shifted.
Yeah, for sure. It shifted hard.
And I was being told that by people who are chronologically older than you are now. These people would now be in their
Mhm.
70s.
Yeah, for sure.
They were
Yeah.
telling me that if you sit at one company for too long, it makes you look like you're not economically viable, like nobody would hire you, so you're stuck there.
Yeah. It's crazy,
All
isn't
right,
it?
isn't it though? Yeah, all right. So in a moment, I know you have an invitation for our audience. I'm going to share that on your behalf.
Mhm.
We're going to be done here in about 1 minute. So other than download my thing, what is one action you want our listeners to take as soon as they finish listening to us today?
Here's what I want them to do. I want them, and this is going to help them on the days when being an entrepreneur is hard. I want them to get still for a minute. Turn off the devices, turn off the TV, the music, whatever. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and I want you to consider the ripple effect of your work. I want you to literally consider, who do you touch with your work? How do you touch their lives? How do they then have a better day? And they, in turn, touch other people's lives. And that ripple effect of positivity and goodness and empowerment and inspiration just continues. Because a lot of times we think, oh, I'm just a business coach. I don't really make that big of a difference. Well, let me tell you something. When I help one of my clients have a $42,000 launch of her new product, that has a massive ripple effect for her family, for people she can donate money to, for her new clients. And it's just, we have to remember, we feel small. Sometimes we feel like what we do is small. It's not. It's not.
No, it certainly isn't. And, I've had to remind myself of that sometimes, and sometimes that leads us to undervalue ourselves.
Yes.
For a few years, I was a hired gun helping people with product launches, and the magic number for most of them was $8,500. So, first of all, what amazed me is how many people thought that was a bargain. But most of the doubts I had about that were people in my own mind. There's other voices saying, "You're charging this person $8,500 for what are they launching? What's this weird thing?" Well, when that person made $25,000, $30,000 off it, sold out, blew out their own modest numbers, and just seeing the excitement of knowing how many lives they were now changing, how much impact that was going to have, how much momentum that was going to create. The fact that I gave them something they can download and redeploy time and time again. Because as I said, the hired gun, not lifetime slave.
Yeah.
In fact, I wanted them to understand what all the pieces were so they could hire a VA to do it for them next time.
Nice. Yeah.
So, and then again, I was creating other people's yeses just on that. So when I really stepped back and I realized how many yeses I was creating, how many opportunities I was creating just through doing that work, then I was starting to think maybe I should raise my rates next gig. And I did. And I did.
Right.
Yeah. So people come to us for the Elite Podcast Reach System. Our most popular level is the Connect level, which is $5,000. And there are naysayers that say, you don't have to spend $5,000 on a podcast. You can just put a file up on Anchor. Well, I look at what my clients are doing and the successes they're having, the connections they're making, the doors that open up for them, the clients they're getting. They say, well, when I have clients that are returning 100% on that investment within 2 to 3 weeks in some cases, or on the outside 2 to 3 months. And then it's a machine that just keeps going and going and going and building their network. Their networking, client attraction, celebrity expert branding. It's a bargain. I should raise my rates next gig. So here's the invitation. Let me put it on the screen here. Go to www.tracybeavers.com/social. TracyBeavers. TracyBeavers.com/social. And what it is, it's social media content made easy. And it guides you through creating 90 days of content in only 30 minutes. So if you could, in a half hour, get 3 months of your content banged out, that could free your mind to explore so many things like we've covered on this conversation. I may have to pick this up for myself. So again, that's TracyBeavers.com/social. With that, Tracy, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an honor, believe me, in education.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning into the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast, where we celebrate entrepreneurs, business creators, and brilliant minds who are making a difference for their community, market, and audience. Remember to visit our website at www.brilliancepluspassion.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Brilliance Plus Passion podcast.